Warlock. Let's go.
Warlock. Lock. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Welcome to the Grinning Go Lightforge Boomsday card reveal for the arena, not reveal, actually review and valuation stream with Adwicta, which is me, and
I'm Merps. All right, first card. Getting right into it. We're doing Warlock. Warlock was a very good class pre-patch. I think a lot of people identified it as the top class, even though a lot of the classes were fairly close together. And it was kind of easy to see why. They had lots of good removals. They had lots of good stall. And then their natural card draw from their hero power was incredibly, incredibly strong.
It was wonderful when they did the bucketing and they did the inter buckets and all the Warlock class card got moved down because all the neutral cards are so good for Warlock because Warlocks run on neutral cards.
Yeah, they are totally okay with neutral cards. So let's look at the first card that Boomsday offers Warlocks. We're starting in the third bucket, and this is Doubling Imp. Doubling Imp is a 3 mana 2/2 demon. Battlecry, summon a copy of this minion. That's fine. Like, you know, you don't. So you're looking for certain hand buffs or something, which we will see. You will be able to get, but even without a buff, 3 mana to just summon double 2/2s, it's okay, right? It's totally fair. It's in the third bucket right now, and we have it at around a 126, which means it's fair. It's like it's
in the second, but third is.
If it was in the second, it would be very low.
Yeah.
In the second bucket, and in the third bucket, it's sort of like a middle-ish card.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's absolutely fine there.
So yeah,
all right.
So that's Doubling Imp. You know, nice card. Let's look at what card would make Doubling Imp even better. Put a Void Analyst, and they put under the fourth bucket. The 2 mana 2/2 demon Deathrattle. Give all demons in your hand +1/+1. Cool card, you know, probably decent for constructed if demon lock is a thing or becomes a thing. But in the arena, there's just not a lot of demons. You're expected to get like 2.5. And not 2.5 in your hand, 2.5 in your deck. That's not enough for this card to get a lot of value. So it's just kind of a 2 mana 2/2, and sometimes it does its thing. And when it does its thing, it's maybe worth like a 100, a little over 100. When it doesn't do its thing, it's kind of crap. So this is only going to get 89 points, which is pretty low for the fourth bucket. Should probably be like 2 buckets lower, or at least 1 bucket lower.
So this is kind of a trap card, and once again, if you're faced with this choice of a Void Analyst, when it's like pick 26 and you already have a decent amount of demons, like if you had that rare deck that works, yeah, definitely, like this is good. But on average, you know, and especially at the beginning of the draft,
don't do it.
Yeah, don't. I would pick something other than Void Analyst, because on average, you're not going to get the number of demons to make this worth it. So, yep. Okay. Next, we are moving to the fifth bucket. And
we have a Nether Soul Buster. Nether Soul Buster is a 3 mana 1/5 demon with Battlecry. Gain +1 attack for each damage your hero has taken this turn. That's not 1 attack for each time your hero takes damage this turn, but +1 attack for each damage it takes. So if you like hero power, it's a 3/5 for 3 mana.
Right. So this card is okay. Like, this is something in which it's in the fifth bucket. We think that's appropriate. The awkwardness just holds it back. The potential is there, but the awkwardness definitely holds it back a little bit, which is why, you know, it's like that's where fifth bucket cards should be, right? There's like, when you think of
you can't play this on turn 3, right? So it's not a 3-drop. You kind of play it on turn 5, but then you have to hero power. You don't really want to do that on turn 5. You probably play it way later, and then it's like a 3 mana for like a 3/5 or a 5/5. And that's just not that great for having to hold a card for so long that's not a 3-drop.
Yeah, and it's just the fact that you cannot play it on turn 3, right?
Yep.
Like, it definitely takes away from it. For a class that really needs curve cards, not being a curve card hurts it.
Unless you played a Void Analyst the turn before. But seriously, that's how these are set up, right?
I mean, yeah, that's how it is.
You Void
Right.
Analyst, and then you have all these 3-mana demons now that are really good when you play them.
I know.
But in the arena, you're not going to get these consistently.
Yep. All right.
Next card is a Omega Agent. You want to take it away?
Yeah, let's talk about Omega Agent. Man, all right. Look, we have this scored fairly high. For us, it is a 133. We think this card is really good. 133 would place it solidly in like the second bucket. It's not first bucket material just because of how awkward it is, but man, the ceiling is super high. So Omega Agent is a 5-mana 4/5 minion. Battle Cry, if you have 10 mana crystals, summon 2 copies of this minion. So
that's 3 copies altogether.
3 total 4/5 minions. So 3 Yetis for 5 mana, as long as you have 10 mana crystals. An extraordinary amount of value.
27
just like,
stats.
Yeah, ridiculously so. It is held back by the fact that you can't. If you play it before turn 10, you really do lose a decent amount of stats. If you play it after turn 10, the amount of stats you gain is, oh my gosh, insane. Like,
you don't play it before turn 10.
And that's the thing. So you look at it as a turn 10 super card that has the optional utility of you playing it before turn 10, but it really sucking. And that's really what holds it back, right? Because otherwise, this thing, like when you...
We have it at a 133, which is like good and like, you know, low premium, but it's not even 150, right? All of our super premium cards are like 150. Kobold Librarian is like a 150. Like Flame Imp is like a 150. This is not even a Flame Imp, guys. That should tell you something about how much Warlocks value tempo and curve.
Yep. But this is one of those cards in which if you reach turn 10, you play this, it will just win you the game sometimes. Lots of times. Because it's way too much tempo. Way too much tempo for 5 mana.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I don't know why it's in the 5th bucket. No, like it's not a Flame Imp, but come on, put this guy in the 3rd bucket at least.
Right. If Blizzard placed in the 3rd bucket, we would have looked at it and be like, okay, we understand what you're trying to do, right? We understand sort of the thought process here. We understand the dilemma that this causes players. 3rd bucket, okay. 5th bucket, that's insulting.
You know what's in this bucket? Duskbat, Fiendish Circle. Our next card, Nether Soul Buster. Nether Soul Buster, which is correctly placed in this like 5th bucket, maybe 6th bucket even. Is not our next card, but is the card we just did. Which is the 3-mana 1/5. My bad. I forget these people's names. Okay, let's go on to our actual next card. Spirit Bomb. Spirit Bomb is a 2-mana card that says deal 4 damage to a minion and your hero. So you're taking 4 damage, which is a lot, and in exchange you deal 1 extra damage, which doesn't seem like a lot. But 2 mana 4 damage removal is still pretty good tempo. And we were talking just now about how good tempo is for the Warlock. Especially removals. Because what happens when you remove something? They no longer hit you to the face. Have more life, which means you have more cards. And your whole system runs like that. Also has a little bit of synergy with some of the cards that require you to take damage to the face. And is overall like an okay card. It's a 108. Which puts it very nicely into this 5th bucket here. Is it one of the better removals? No, it's worse than a Shadow Bolt. You would rather pay 1 extra mana than take 4 damage.
Definitely is Warlock.
Yeah. But it's still like a playable card.
Yep. So very pickable card for the 5th bucket.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are going to move on to the sixth bucket now, and we're going to look at Soul Infusion. Soul Infusion is a 1 mana spell. Give the leftmost minion in your hand +2/+2. Weird. It's very weird just because it's not really the flavor that Warlocks are used to, right? It's kind of a strange thing. But we have it at a 101, so it's a fine card. It's it's okay. That's what more is there to say, right?
Yeah,
Warlocks can definitely make up the sort of loss and size of the card by just tapping. And 1 mana for +2/+2 on a minion is fairly good.
You can think of it as like almost like innervating something, right? Like without the actual ramp, well, potentially the ramp part, but you don't get to pick where it goes. It could get like all these like synergies or whatever with what you're buffing, but ultimately you're Warlock. You care about tempo. What does this do? It gives you tempo. 1 mana for 4 stats. That's tempo. So we're giving this one a 101, even though it looks like kind of a crappy card, admittedly. And at a 101, it's pretty appropriately bucketed for the 6.
Yep. So once again, not the best card, but a decent enough card for you to pick it in the 6 bucket. That's it.
All right.
All right.
So then we have 2 more cards. I'm gonna take this home, Merps, because these are great cards. One, right, I don't even think it's on the tier list right now because like I don't think we programmed it. It is Ectomancy. And I can't show it, but I'll let you know what Ectomancy is. Ectomancy, these are all in the 7th bucket, by the way. And we don't have it because they're all like so crappy. Like they should probably not even be in the arena. That's how crappy they are. Ectomancy is a 6 mana epic spell that says summon copies of all demons you control. So remember we were talking about how much you don't have demons in Warlock these days? Well, now you get to spend 6 mana to make copies of all the ones you happen to get on the board and maybe survive a turn. Not very exciting. And another one is Demonic Project, which is a project, and so it's not good. It's 2 mana. Each player transforms a random minion in their hand into a demon. Sure, your demon's probably going to be more useful than theirs, but it's way too RNG. It's like for constructed hand disruption, right? This is arena. You're not disrupting their hand. You're just spending a card for no good reason in 2 mana.
Yep. Once again, double-sided effects in which you have to spend a card and you have to spend mana. Not good. Not good, not good. Okay.
So I like how Warlock's been kind of constructed. They got a little bit of everything, right? They got a nice solid 3-drop. They got a potential 2-drop that synergizes with stuff. They got a playable, like, I damage myself synergy card. It's not very good, but they got one. They got a removal even. Like, not a lot of classes are getting removals in this expansion, and a 4 damage removal is, like, a real thing. And it's something Warlocks need. Warlocks have issues with single target removal. They have plenty of huge board clears, but this is definitely something that'll work well in their kit. So yeah, and then Soul Infusion is an interesting card. Nothing's terribly powerful. Omega Agent is fine, but that's the only power card in this set. And like, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about Warlocks like becoming even more powerful than they already are.
Yeah, it's very fair. Like, this is one of the definitely most fair overall. Like, if you just focus on Omega Agent, you're like, wait, that's not fair. But overall, I think it's a very fair sort of expansion addition to a class. Let's talk about the Legendaries.
Dr. Morgan, 8 mana, 5/5, Deathrattle. Swap this with a minion from your deck. So it recruits a minion. And then puts it back in your deck.
This is within the 3rd bucket, and we think that it's fairly appropriate. Like,
yeah, right. What's the average minion size in your deck? A 4/4, so it's 8 mana, 5/5, Deathrattle, 4/4. You don't like it, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. By the way, is this a actual score for the Solarium? I thought we discussed this.
I think this is the actual score. What did we discuss for the Solarium?
I thought it would be like higher.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Maybe. I'll
Yeah.
have to look into this.
Anyways, this is a card that I like. And right, we had discussions about this, but I like this, and I think that it is. So once again, we don't have to discuss exactly how good it is, but for the purposes of this video, I think if you see this in the third bucket, man, like I think this is definitely something you should draft within the third bucket of legendary cards. It's just really freaking good. Like you can wait on this, and then at the very end, you can, not the very end, but like later on during your turns, you cast this, and then you can just play a decent amount of cards. So, yep, good stuff.
All right. And that's it for Warlock. We have one more class left, and we're excited to get through it because then we get to talk about the class tier list. And that's the exciting thing. We haven't talked about class tier list in a while. So we'll see you at the Warrior, which is coming up next. Ta-da! 15 time.